Hi guys, welcome to my channel Happy Eye Tarot. In today's pick a card reading, we will find out how will the person on your mind feel if you move on from them. If you've already moved on from them, maybe through this reading you can find out how they're feeling. If you have one foot out the door and you're contemplating if or not you should move on from them, this reading will give you an insight about how they will feel if you do so. So you can see an image on your screen right now. You've got 3 options to choose from. Feel free to pause the video over here, meditate on all your options, pick whichever one calls out to you the most. You'll find the timestamps in the comment section as well as in the description box below. So make your choice and let's get started. Hello group 1, if you guys chose the first image, let's find out how will the person on your mind feel if you move on from them. So the oracles that came out for you are Archangel Raziel, that says wisdom, inspiration, Akashic records. Then we have Yin Yang, which says balance, trust, and lastly, abundance. Now in the abundance card, I want you to notice how this guy over here is freaking out about having dropped his coin in the gutter. Meanwhile, the girl over here, super chill, she's found the trick to get the coin out of the gutter. So, what does this tell us? It seems as if when the person on your mind realizes that you have in fact moved on from them, it will be nothing short of a bolt out of the blue for them. It seems as if in that moment, they will realize, it will suddenly strike them, they'll get that knowledge of just how much you meant to them or what this connection means to them. Because we have Yin Yang over here. It's like, oh my god, now that she has, what's that song? There's the song, no? You only know you love her when you let her go, something like that. Except that in this case, you're the one who's decided to, you're the one who's had enough of this. And so it is after that that they come to their senses. And what's weird is that right from the get-go, you knew that there was a lot of potential in this connection. This person, on the other hand, the one you're trying to move on from, was always and only focused on the negatives. Here also in the background, we can see him being a Debbie Downer. So it's like they were always focused on, oh, but this wouldn't work out. How will we make this work? How will we make that work? Always focused on all the different ways in which you could go wrong. And you, on the other hand, were always thinking about the solutions to make the connection work. They just didn't think of it that way back then. It is possible over here with wisdom that right now, or the cause of this separation could have been the fact that perhaps they or you had to move out to some other city, state or country for higher education. And in that moment, they could have told themselves that, oh, well, this is it. It can't work anymore. Long distance relationships always fizzle out. So what's the point? Before she leaves me, I'm going to leave her, something like that. I do feel over here with trust and abundance that given the kind of person you are, from what I can see over here, since you were always very solution oriented, I feel like for a very long time, group 1, you were in fact holding on to hope. And you were in fact for a really long time thinking that, it's okay, we can still make it work. Maybe for some days I will go there to wherever this person is. Some days maybe they can travel to me, take some classes online, or whatever arrangement you had in mind. But that arrangement also made no sense to this person. It's almost as if they did not want to see the solution that you were offering. They did not want to understand your point of view. It's like they were telling themselves the same old thing over and over and over again until their mind started perceiving it as the ultimate truth. They were constantly telling themselves that given the circumstances, it cannot work out at all. And so because they kept on affirming it, because they kept on repeating it like a parrot, their mind was like, yeah, well, this is the truth. This is how it is. It cannot work out. But since you've moved on from them, or when you move on from them, that is when it will hit them. What is it that they're losing out on? It will definitely feel like, and when you look at this locket over here, you know how there are those lockets which have different pieces and then they just fit together? And this is what that feels like. When you move away from them, when you move on from them, they'll feel as if they are losing out or missing out on a part of themselves. And it's something that they will most likely not be able to get back, or never be able to get back. And that is when it'll also hit them that they should have trusted in your vision to make things work. They should have trusted in whatever it is that you were telling them right from the get-go. And just the kind of mammoth value that you hold in their heart. And when I see this treasure trunk, I mean, we kind of get the sneak peek of what's inside, but actually the trunk is closed, right? And what this tells me is that even though they left you first, you didn't really leave their heart, group one. And you never will be able to. It's just that all these feelings they have for you that they buried deep within their heart, they will be forced to confront all of those feelings and then realize what the hell they missed out on when you move on from them. Okay, let us take a look at your tarot cards now. For exclusive readings by me, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll find the link in the description box for that. Okay, let's see. Spirit, how will the person on group one's mind feel if group one moves on from them? We have the Four of Swords. How will the person on group one's mind feel if group one moves on from them? Page of Cups. How will the person on group one's mind feel if group one moves on from them? Strength. How will the person on group one's mind feel if group one moves on from them? Spirit. Queen of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, look at this. We have the Five of Pentacles. They'll definitely feel that rejection. They will feel very dejected. They'll feel very, very hopeless when they realize that you have moved on from them. They will feel apologetic. They will reminisce a lot about the past, especially if this is a connection that started at a very young age, or where you guys did spend a good amount of time together. There were happy moments, of course. So when they realize that you've moved on from them, with Page of Cups and Strength, it'll almost be like, well, now I'm just left with her memories, and I just have her memories to help me go through the rest of my life. I don't see them as such taking any action towards you with Four of Swords over here and Strength. And I do feel like their ego has a bit of a part to play in it. They're feeling all these emotions. They're feeling sad. They're feeling lonely. They're realizing your worth. With the Queen of Cups over here, especially underneath the Abundance card, they're realizing that nobody ever will be able to understand them as deeply as you did. Nobody will be able to love them as much as you did. In fact, with the contrast over here of the Page and the Queen, they'll also realize that perhaps they never deserved somebody like you in the first place. Despite all these realizations, all this wisdom hitting them left, right, and center, unfortunately, because of their ego, they will not be reaching out. We can see this woman flexing her arm over here, her bicep over here, right? So they'll try to act like they're unfazed, like it's not affecting them. They're very calm. I mean, they don't really care that you've unfollowed them, or they don't really care that you've stopped watching their stories. But this is just a facade, because beneath the surface, this is what's happening. Beneath the surface, they'll feel very, very sad about the fact that not only have you moved on from them, but also the fact that they'll never be able to get you back. Why are they so confident that they'll never be able to get you back? Because the Strength card over here not only reflects their ego, but it also tells us how determined you are in your action. They know the kind of person that you are. So they know that if finally you have made this decision that you'll be moving on from them, you will be sticking to that decision. You will not be turning your back towards your own decision. It's not that you've decided one day to move on from them and then 2 weeks later or 2 months later, you'll try to patch things up with them again. They know you won't. With the Four of Swords over here, it might take you some time to heal from whatever it is that you've been through. In fact, it might take you some time to arrive to the conclusion that you need to move on from this person. And I feel like with Strength and Queen of Cups over here, the day you realize that you've had enough of this is the day you fall back in love with yourself, and you realize that you're better off without them. You realize that you're better than them. That, you deserve a king, not really a page. And I think that belief about who you are and what you deserve is what will give you the strength to stick to your decision, keep going, and not look back. All right, group one. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you're new over here, hit the bell icon when you do so. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello group 2, if you guys chose the second image, let's take a look at your oracle cards to find out how will the person on your mind feel if you move on from them. So the oracles that have come out for you are prophets and ancient seers, which says decisions, predictive guidance. Then we have bees, which says community. We've got guilt, and we have passion. Okay. Here's the thing, either you've already moved on from this person and you wish to know like how are they feeling about it, or you are deciding whether or not you should move on from this person, and so you're curious to know what effect would it have on them. In either of the cases, this reading is for you. Firstly, it feels like when this person realizes or finds out that you have moved on from them, they will not be able to believe that it is an independent decision that you took. They will feel like you've been forced to take the decision to move on from them. They'll feel like somebody poisoned your ears against them and asked you to move on from them. And most likely, according to them, it'll be your friends, your well-wishers. I mean, we know that they're your well-wishers, but I don't think the person on your mind has a very high opinion of your community or your friend circle. Perhaps even when you guys were together, they were always crunching their nose and rolling their eyes at the mere mention of some of your friends' names. And so when they see you going about your life, when they see you clearly displaying actions or behaviors wherein it's obvious that you don't really care about them anymore, I feel like they will be upset. And when I say upset, I mean it's actually anger and jealousy that I'm picking up on over here. Envy and anger. That is what they'll feel. They'll feel angry at your friends for having influenced you to leave them behind. And they'll feel jealous about whoever it is that they'll be seeing you with. Or just the idea of you now not being hung up on them anymore, and just the idea of you being with somebody else now will make them jealous. Another very strong emotion that your moving on will ignite in this person is of guilt. They'll feel very guilty. They didn't say the things that they should have to you when they had the time. They didn't take the actions that they should have when they had the time. It's almost as if they knew that they were keeping you stuck in a loop. They knew that they were feeding you breadcrumbs. They knew that they were leading you on even though they couldn't give you what it is that you wanted. And then why did they do it? Because if you see the passion card over here, we can see this, what seems to be, the cards are very glossy, what seems to be a princess reading from a book to this old chap over here, right? Now, just imagine that this is you and this is the person you're deciding to move on from. Whatever it is that she's reading, we can see this excitement and this happiness on her face. He, on the other hand, is unfazed. There is absolutely no expression on this person's face, right? So it's almost as if when you guys were together, you did a lot from your side to keep things alive. You did a lot of things to make this person happy. Sometimes you even went out of your way to do things not just for them, but perhaps even for their family members, even for their friends. You were constantly trying to, I would say, impress this person or be more likable in front of in the eyes of this person. But apparently it had no effect on them. In fact, I would say because we have the energy of guilt over here now, they were enjoying it. It's like they enjoyed the show that you were putting on for them. They enjoyed the fact that they had your undivided attention. And so now that is what they're feeling guilty about. Because they could have done justice to you, right? They could have been nice to you. They could have reciprocated this passion. They could have reciprocated this enthusiastic energy that you were investing into the connection. But they did no such thing. So honestly, if they are feeling jealous or if they are feeling angry, they don't really have the right to. And I feel like when their anger subsides, that is when the guilt will start rising to the surface. And if they sit long enough with that guilt, I'm pretty sure what I am channeling is something that will hit them as well. That they don't really have the right to feel angry or upset or jealous, because they think that it is your friend circle who influenced your decision, but it's actually their lack of action that ultimately drove you to this point of moving on from them. So they're the one who, in a way, we can say influenced your decision, not your community. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now, group 2. Spirit, how will the person in group 2's mind feel if group 2 moves on from them? We have the Queen of Wands. How will the person on group 2's mind feel if group 2 moves on from them? The Five of Wands. How will the person on group 2's mind feel if group 2 moves on from them? We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. How will the person on group 2's mind feel if group 2 moves on from them? We have the Star. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. So, I feel like this person ruined something really beautiful, something that had a lot of potential. You guys honestly could have had a happily ever after, but they just weren't invested. The fact that we have guilt and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse alongside, they did not put in the effort that they should have. They did not put the required work in this connection. It was you managing everything all by yourself, and so that's what they're feeling guilty about. Or they will feel guilty about once you move on from them. Also, the fact that we have the Five of Wands underneath the community card, yes, they cannot see your friends eye to eye. They do not like your social circle at all. Maybe they don't even like your family, not just your friends. Maybe they don't like your family either. And so, you see how it is progressing, right? Initially, it's all very fiery, the emotions, anger, jealousy, like I said. Pretty sure those idiots must have put her up to this. Who does she think she is? Crap like that. And then once those emotions subside, that is when they'll realize that, well, I am to blame. It is my fault. I am guilty. I am responsible for this. When I had the time to, I didn't respect it. I didn't value it. I didn't value her. With the Star card over here, I feel group 2, you were desired by a lot of people. A lot of people could have had a crush on you. A lot of people could have asked you out. But again, you only had eyes for this person and they knew it. And you know how sometimes when somebody makes us feel very important, the downside of it is it can make us feel very highly about ourselves. And then in that moment, we can stop being humble. We can stop being grounded. And it just, how would a person who knows that they've got a huge fan following be, right? Think of it that way. I mean, some of them, pretty sure, maybe some celebrities are very grounded, maybe, I don't know. But some of them are very arrogant, right? And I feel like because you were desired by so many people, but you chose them, that really inflated this person's ego, And to an extent, unfortunately, that they stopped seeing you as a human being. They started seeing you as this prized possession. Look, everybody wants her, but she's my arm candy. She's next to me. They wouldn't look in your direction to see whether you were smiling, whether you were crying, nothing of that nature. In fact, I feel like they enjoyed the attention that they got because of you. Maybe there were a lot of people who would walk up to them very casually and say, oh, she ended up with you, we never would have guessed. And again, that would boost their ego. But amidst all of this 5 seconds of fame that they had thanks to you, they forgot to value you, they forgot to cherish you, and they'll feel very guilty about it. Now, I don't think as such they'll take any action towards you. These people are standing with their backs towards each other. Once you move on from this person, I don't think you'll ever take any action towards them again, and similarly, they won't take any action towards you either. For the longest time, I feel like this person, once they find out that you have moved on from them, they might actually put up a show to get your attention. They might actually flaunt any new partner that they might have at that time. They might deliberately post a lot of lovey-dovey or couple things on their stories and such to get some sort of reaction out of you. But when they see that you're not really feeding their energy, you're not really doing shit, they'll eventually stop. And once some more time has passed, and once they have come back to their senses and stopped behaving like this energy over here of pretense, I do feel with the last card being the Star that they will genuinely wish you the best and hope that you are able to find someone who can actually be all those things for you that they couldn't be. Alright, group 2, so these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. For more tarot readings by me, exclusive readings that I don't post anywhere else, you can subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello group 3, if you guys chose the third image, let's find out how will the person on your mind feel if you move on from them. So the oracles that came out for you are Phase Entanglement, which says emotional influence. Then we have Feather, which says messages. We've got Judgment, and we have Discovery. Okay. So if you have already moved on from them, this reading will tell you how they are feeling. And in case you are still undecided, this reading will tell you that if you do move on from them, what's going to happen next. So first of all, I feel like they'll find out indirectly that you are done with them. We have the energy of two people gossiping over here. We've also got messages right next to it. Okay, maybe let's say they have some mutual follower with you, okay? And so that person, the mutual link between you guys, let's say, posts a story where they've tagged you with your new boo, and they see that story and they're like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening? Who is this person with group 3? What is group 3? Why is group 3 giggling? Why is his hand around her waist? Why is she snuggling up to him like that? Or the other thing that I just heard was group chat. So maybe, for instance, let's say that this is someone whom you used to be with when you guys were in school or college or whatever. Maybe there's a common group chat, right? Maybe you're not in that chat and somebody randomly posts over there, did you guys see group 3 with that person? Oh, I saw group 3 with some mysterious guy, with some mystery man in the supermarket or whatever. So basically, they're going to find out indirectly that you have moved on from them. And when they do find out, they will be pissed. The biggest emotion over here is of them feeling pissed, almost as if they cannot believe that you dared to move on from them. Honestly, with Discovery and Judgment, I'm getting two messages over here. The first message is about what type of a person this is, and I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with me on this. This is the kind of guy who is nothing, okay? But each time they do something shitty, they get encouragement from their stupid friends and their family members. You know, like how good friends will check you for your wrong behavior, bad friends will encourage it. And I feel like this person hangs out with people who bring out the worst in them. And it's also possible that from a very young age, their family could have just given them this king or queen treatment. I mean, there's nothing wrong, of course, with loving your child, but to a point where their parents could have never highlighted their faults. Their parents could have always made them believe that they were perfect and that they can never do anything wrong. And so this individual whose energy we're channeling today definitely has a God complex, because the people around them have made them sit on this invisible throne, and it makes them feel like they're very superior to everybody else and they can never do anything wrong, and that everybody should always at all times bow down to them. That is the kind of person that you were with, or maybe are still dealing with. So that is why, like I said, they'll be very pissed off that you decided to move on from them. They'll be like, how dare she think about moving on from me? How dare she flaunt this other guy in my face? Who does she think she is? Like that. And interestingly, they will resort to stupid tactics to get your attention again. If you see this discovery card over here, very interestingly, when this card flew out and I saw this kind of angel behind this figure, okay, so this is funny, but I heard woo, okay, like that. So kind of like someone standing behind you, trying to get your attention, tapping on your shoulder and stuff, shit like that. So I will not at all be surprised if this person resorts to really stupid activities, stupid things to get your attention. For instance, maybe posting random things on their stories and then deleting it right after you've seen it, or posting cryptic messages on their stories or WhatsApp status or wherever else, things which would only make sense to you, things which very, very evidently are only meant for you. They might also kind of resort to this tit for tat tactic, which again is stupid because you are genuinely like with somebody else now. Even if they aren't, every 2-3 weeks they might post pictures with a new person just to kind of shove it in your face that, oh, you see, your absence hasn't really had any effect on my life like that. I'm living my best life. Every 2 weeks I'm with someone new. It's really crazy. I'm having the best time right now. And amidst all of that, with messages and judgment over here, this is the only group where I do feel like this individual is going to reach out to you. And what is pathetic actually over here with the discovery card is that whatever message this is, voice note message, whatever it is, when they do contact you, they might act as if nothing happened. They might act as if they did absolutely nothing to break your heart or to push you to the point where you had no choice but to move on. You know, something like, hey, long time, I was just thinking about you and stuff. Hoping that it would really, like have this effect on your heart, it would move you, and you would ask them if they can take you back and stuff like that. Again, thinking that they're better than you. So they are doing you a favor by giving you a chance to patch things up with them. They couldn't care less. Till the time they were sure that you're single, they couldn't care less. The minute they find out, directly or indirectly, that you're with someone, they're like, no, 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 no. How is that possible? How can this one person take their attention away from me? So it's very, very immature. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now, group 3. Spirit, how will the person on group 3's mind feel if group 3 decides to move on from them? How will the person on group 3's mind feel if group 3 decides to move on from them? We have the Ace of Pentacles. How will the person on group 3's mind feel if group 3 decides to move on from them? We have the Devil, the Knight of Cups. How will the person on group 3's mind feel if group 3 decides to move on from them? So Ace of Wands and the Moon flew out together. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands. Yeah, so cooking chaos unnecessarily in your life, creating a lot of drama just to get a reaction out of you. Again, such juvenile energy. We've got Knight, we've got Page. And this is a very sneaky person, by the way. The energy of the Moon over here, I don't like it, especially with the Ace of Wands. In fact, it's quite possible that even when you were with this person, they could have cheated on you with somebody else. They could have actually slept with other people, and maybe you found that out later on. And now look at this. We have a woman over here, right, in chains. And we have the Devil represented over here. And right next to it, we have the Knight of Cups. So I'm not going to say that, oh, this is a karmic or whatever. I'm not going to go into that right now for this reading. But yes, this person will not like the fact that you have broken out of the chains. And so they'll try to charm you back into the chains, into this entanglement over here. In fact, with the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Devil, I feel like in the past also something similar has happened once or twice before, wherein you decided to move on, and the minute they thought that you are moving on, or that you are almost out of their clutches, they could have suddenly started sweet talking you. They could have suddenly been all charming, romantic, and they just had you eating out of their palm again. But it seems as if this time, for real, you have finally realized what their game is. That they have very flighty energy. They cannot give you what they want. They're sneaky that way. In fact, this might be someone who's addicted to sex, is another thing that I'm hearing. And so they can't give you that committed, honest, stable relationship that you want. And you're not going to stick around. It's almost as if this person just does not seem to get a hint that you don't want anything to do with them anymore. Because it worked once before, they'll try to woo you back again. This time, of course, if you say no, or if you stay put in your boundaries, honestly, with the Page of Wands over here, group 3, they might cause a bit of a scene. Nothing too serious, nothing for you to worry about, but yes, they might cause some scene, like posting shit online. I'm not seeing any slandering over here, so don't worry about it. But like I said, drama. They might just act like a drama queen if they realize that they don't have that kind of grip or control over you that they once used to. So definitely, you moving on from them is going to, what's the phrase for that? Just, it'll feel like someone has, why am I for a loss of words right now? That thing where you're standing, but then it feels like the ground has suddenly shifted or something. You know what I'm talking about, right? So that way. Just a shock, like a terrible, terrible shock that they did not see coming at all. All right, group 3. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. For exclusive tarot readings from me, you can subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.